Alright, boom, Animenians, we're here, we're back with another video. This video is ranking all the Terminator films. I'm basing this on a few things, one being something I like to call the rewatchability, how much you will go back and rewatch these, the most notable performance from main characters, villains, or who else that's had a good performance, action sequence of course, just good delivery, memorable scenes. So when I rank things, before I go back and do rewatches, I try to rank them by what I can remember off the top of my head. And if I can remember things with just natural memory, then it shows what things left a mark. So that's usually the basis of my ranking. So at number 6, I have Terminator Genesis. When Kyle Reese is sent back to 1984, he arrives in an altered timeline where Sarah Connor has already been raised by a reprogrammed T-800. Skynet now exists as a global operating system called Genesis, set to activate through modern technology. The group attempts to stop its launch while dealing with time paradoxes, including John Connor being transformed into a machine hybrid. Skynet is temporarily destroyed, but the timeline remains fractured, leaving the future uncertain. So this was an enjoyable film. I did like it. The key things that stuck out to me was definitely John Connor being a machine hybrid. That was a cold concept. Seeing the one who through all of the films we've known to be the hero of humanity, he was the main tool to sink humanity in this context. It was very cold. So I did really enjoy that part. Kyle Reese's performance was cool. Yeah, it was okay. The Sarah Connor performance was, it was good. I think most memorable moment with her is that line when she came and saved Kyle Reese. Yeah, the John Connor performance as a villain was really good. I did enjoy seeing that. Visually, him and just the plot of using John Connor as that character. This is again still set in 1984. What else I did really like is the introduction scene of Kyle Reese. At first, sometimes in survival moments or survival films or sci-fi action films or whatever, zombie, the person in need, when they go find someone, maybe like a member of public or someone like a police officer, when they say what's happening, oh, there's a monster chasing me, this and that, there's a robot coming that will kill you, they don't usually believe someone straight away. In this case, the police officer didn't believe straight away, but he still did catch on very quickly. And I think that was just refreshing to see. Sometimes it's just like, oh, you're just crazy, man. Turn around and put these handcuffs on you. And then boom, that person's dead. I didn't believe them. But in this case, it was a bit different. Other than that, there aren't many scenes that come to mind that are very memorable. Yeah, not at all. So we'll just move on, but still enjoyable. Above that, I have Terminator Dark Fate. Let's go through this plot. After Skynet is erased from history, a new AI called Legion rises in its place. A Terminator sent before Skynet's deletion kills young John Connor, leaving Sarah traumatized and vengeful. Years later, Legion sends a Rev-9 Terminator to kill Danny Ramos, whose future leadership threatens it. Sarah teams up with an augmented soldier named Grace and eventually the original T-800. Together they destroy the Rev-9 and Sarah begins training Danny for the war to come. Now this film was fun. Even though it's number 5, it's definitely one of my favorites. One of the ones that I can think of several moments that flash in my head or characters that give me a buzz that I enjoyed. So first things that stuck out in this film for me are, number 1, the whole idea that in this timeline John Connor was killed. So from what we know to be Terminator 2 Judgment Day, when he was killed, we see a scene where the T-800 comes and literally terminates John Connor, and that was just mad to see, to think, raw, imagine he actually succeeded and this timeline is actually running on this idea of John Connor's dead. So that was cool to see. What I also liked was, seeing Sarah Connor come back. The whole bridge scene on the comeback was cool. There might have been a bit too much CGI in the background if I remember correctly, but that was a vibe. That felt like real Sarah Connor. And this is like maybe the 4th installment, or the last installment I should say. Oh yeah, next is the Rev-9. I did enjoy the performance of the Rev-9. Not the character, the actor himself in general, but the Terminator scenes when he was more machine. I enjoyed how he had like the exoskeleton and a liquid skeleton, or was like some magnetic kind of link where that was just cool to see. Is like 2-in-1 threat. The scenes with those Terminators are very good. My favorite part of the film was actually this person, what's her name now? Grace. Now Grace, the augmented soldier from the future, I believe. In terms of that role in Terminator, of the character who's sent back in time to help out of Terminators and Kyle Reese's, I think she might be my number 3 performance, because she had that intensity, that charisma, that she just had a power on screen, a desperation. The flashback stuff was sick with her. You could really feel her just disorientation at times, or just emotion. She was a cold character, and she done really well with the action. I enjoyed her performance. Yeah, she was just cold. Oh yeah, the OG T-800. Even to see that part. Oh yeah, Danny Ramos was kind of cool in it as well. She did feel like she could grow to fill the role of a Sarah Connor, of that John Connor, the leader of humanity. You could see that kind of resilience in her and stuff. Yeah, I think this is the one when he even had a family and all of that stuff, and I just find the humor in that part funny. Seeing the Terminator find a child, and this whole thing about the AI learning more emotions and learning different feelings, it kind of makes you think, if we are created by a higher being, or we AI in a certain way, intelligence created by a higher intelligence, and are we learning the different spectrum of emotions and different things in reality as we live in our 3 dimensions or whatever. But that's just one reason why I kind of enjoyed that part of him learning to become a fam. I'm like, really bro, you're a robot fam, like what are you feeling? How does this work? How you got wife and kids, bro? You were smoking, guys, 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago. But yeah, that film was just really enjoyable. Again, the Rev 9. Grace, Danny, key parts are very good. Next above that is, and the one I missed, is Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Years after stopping Skynet once again, John Connor lives off the grid. Believing Judgment Day was prevented. However, Skynet sends the advanced TX Terminator back in time to kill future resistance leaders. A reprogrammed T-800 returns to protect John and Kate Brewster, who is revealed to play a vital role in the future. They discover Skynet exists as a distributed system that cannot be destroyed, and the film ends with Judgment Day occurring, confirming the war was only delayed. Rise of the Machines is a very entertaining film. Also, I feel like in the trilogy, it's not the best out of the trilogy, maybe the OG trilogy, but it still had those iconic moments. For example, meeting new adult John Connor at first was mad to see, like, yo, this is him grown up. And also, while doing some research, I learned that the John Connor from Terminator 2 wasn't able to carry on to Terminator 3 because of some personal situations. But I feel like that would have made the franchise even more iconic and established, because if they were able to keep that continuity, it would have kept more fans and gained more fans at the same time. The female Terminator was just cool. She was a vibe. Boy, can you go really wrong with having, I think she's like a model and actress, playing a serious Terminator, and she played the role really well. You could see that intensity. She done the action well, the whole cold-hearted thing. She was cold. Ooh, some of the iconic scenes, or some of the best scenes. I enjoyed the whole entire arc from, you know what, let's go to the cemetery scene. Cemetery scene was cold, when the T-800 puts them in the coffin and you have that shootout with the police and the TX comes. The entire final arc from when they get to Cyberdyne. Is it Cyberdyne? No, when they get to Skynet and the machines start to awaken and start to take over. That whole final arc, from them fighting inside the headquarters to the one-on-one with the TX and the T-800, and John and what's it, destroying one of the machines, them getting away from the TX around the giant electromagnet, was it a particle collider? I don't think so, because it was, yeah, it was a magnet, it was electromagnetic, that giant electromagnet. Yeah, moving on to the one-on-one that the T-800 lost, seeing his head get kicked off, him about to kill John Connor, having to reprogram himself, and then finally getting to the bunker, realizing there was no resistance at the bunker. It was just all about survival, for those two being the main keys for the resistance of humanity. And then, yeah, final little altercation between T-800 and the TX, him taking out his core, putting it in the TX's mouth to explode. cold stuff. But even that, seeing how did it go? I think first the T-800 came in a helicopter, and then the T-X came on some mad helicopter, and I'm like, this is extra vibes because they're flipping the script a bit. This is a female who's a Terminator, and she's amazing and beautiful, and she's cold-hearted, and she's just a machine, and she come back with a bigger helicopter now. So it's like irony, and yeah, it's just what vibe. But Terminator Salvation. This is set entirely after Judgment Day. The film follows John Connor as a key resistance figure during the war against Skynet. He encounters Marcus Wright, a man who wakes up unaware that he is a human-machine hybrid created by Skynet. As Connor uncovers Skynet's plan to lure resistant leaders into a trap, Marcus sacrifices himself to save John, donating his human heart. Connor survives and officially becomes humanity's leader, solidifying the Resistance's future. Alright, Terminator Salvation. Now, the reason I have this ranked at number 3 is because personally I enjoyed how much it gave us time in the future setting. All of the Terminator films, they give us some scene set in the future when the machine versus resistance action is going on, but this one was entirely set there, so that makes it very unique among all the Terminator films. I liked the young Kyle Reese, seeing his whole backstory, seeing the whole setup of how the world was, seeing the machines and how they were going about trying to eradicate humanity, seeing how the resistance worked, their tactics, their wins, their losses, how they were surviving. It really does remind me of, like, just link back to the point that Matrix and Terminator is the early days of Matrix. Sophia Stewart. I enjoyed Terminator Salvation because it shows so much of humanity, and because it shows so much of the future world where the machines are taken over, the future world where the humans are taken over. Because Terminator is basically the prequel to The Matrix, it's almost like watching a prequel, watching two things at the same time. The beginnings, early doors of Matrix, and you're watching more of the Terminator story. That reference is for whether you want to call it a conspiracy or not. The whole situation with Sophia Stewart, who had some legal action going on against the creators of Matrix and the Terminator, I believe, because they kind of cited her work called The Third Eye in the 1980s. But let's keep on this ranking. So yes, seeing so much of the future world is one of the reasons that I really enjoyed this Terminator. I really enjoyed the performance of Marcus Wright, the person who was the hybrid in this film. Intense, you could feel his disorientation, his genuineness of not knowing who he was or what he was, not understanding the situation. Seeing his character development, seeing John Connor, Christian Bale, that's like big actor. Big actors were in this film. They just done really well. If I'm not mistaken, that same actor who played Marcus Wright is the actor who plays the main male lead in Avatar. Learning more about the verse, seeing how this whole setup for the hybrids to be created, was that just the humans alone, or did the Skynet influence, AI influence, have some kind of means of getting that program going without humanity knowing that the AI Skynet is a part of it? So ending was cool, character moment, you know. That was number 3, Terminator Salvation. Okay, we're moving up this list, let's go. The Terminator. So in the year 2029, Skynet sends a cybernetic assassin back to 1984 to kill Sarah Connor, whose unborn baby will one day lead humanity to victory. Kyle Reese, a soldier from the future, follows to protect her. As the Terminator systematically hunts woman named Sarah Connor, Reese finds the real one and keeps her alive through a relentless pursuit. Reese is killed, destroying the Terminator, but Sarah survives and later realizes Reese is John Connor's father, ensuring the future she was meant to create. Now, yo. The OG Terminator is simply iconic. From the scene when the T-800 was repairing his own eye and his own face and stuff, from the scene when he first took the clothes, from the scene when Kyle Reese first traveled back in time, seeing the connection grow between Sarah and Kyle Reese, the way Arnie was just smoking all of these different Sarah Connors around the community, the ending scene, I believe that was the one with the crusher, the hydraulic press maybe. Ooh, the police station scene, that might be one of the best scenes in the whole film, for when Arnie first comes in, goes out, drives the car through the place. Yo, this is OG Terminator, man. Seeing the character development of Sarah over time, how innocent and fragile she was in the OG Terminator, and then to move on to Terminator 2, and then how hardened and hardcore she becomes over time, shows how experience can shape a person. But yeah, OG Terminator was just too iconic and had a good balance of, sometimes it didn't even feel like a sci-fi film. Sometimes it just felt like a horror film if it was the Terminator just about in 1989. And sometimes it could feel like the romance, the desperation. Kyle Reese at the end of the OG Terminator, when I think she's driving in Mexico and she has like she just has the picture taken by the child. That was a cool moment to see the time loop kind of begin. And to see that Kyle Reese was the father all along. Good balanced film, no one this iconic. Big up James Cameron. This is Terminator 2. Years after surviving her first encounter with a Terminator, Sarah Connor is institutionalized while her son grows up in foster care. Unaware of his identity, Skynet sends a liquid metal T-1000 back in time to kill John. But the human resistance counters by reprogramming a T-800 to protect him. As Sarah escapes custody, the trio unite to destroy Cyberdyne Systems, the company whose research will eventually create Skynet. In a final showdown, both Terminators are destroyed, and Sarah believes Judgment Day has been prevented. Intro scene when the T-800 comes back in time, takes the clothes from the guys at the bar, and rides off with the bike. Cold moment. Probably his best fit in the entire series, the best drip in the entire series for Terminator, I would have to say so. The arcade scene, crazy. From when, to be honest, I kind of like that point when John Connor's friend, he saw that the T-800, that the police officer was looking for John, and he kind of just finessed it and walked past and let him know what was happening. So I see he's a real one. When I saw the T-800 coming around the corner, and then John feeling like he was here to kill him, and then seeing the T-1000 come around the other corner, iconic moment, slow-mo, shotgun coming out, throwing away the present box. It's about to go down. That whole chase from there. Basically, the whole film is a vibe because every arc is crazy. From there, you go to him riding on the bike in the underground car park, to Arnie catching up on his motorcycle. Then you go into the truck scene, and then you go into I think riding around, checking on the foster parents, and then you find out that T-1000 has already killed the parents and is impersonating him on the phone. And then Arnie, T-800 uses a fake dog name to test the child, and they clock that the parents are dead. Then they go to get the mom, and the terror on Sarah Connor's face when she sees the T-800 is back. It's like, yo, just because you know her last memory of the T-800, and you understand the circumstances now that he's reprogrammed. Epic moments. That whole scene when he slips through the bars and he shows you what he can do, and he leaves and he comes through and he takes the gun and he just turns. And then to even see the person, the other guy who was there was he there from the previous film again? That same psychiatrist? What's the difference between psychologist and psychiatrist? I think it's a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists deal with like medicine and stuff as well, right? Yeah. Then they go to the black man's house, the man who the computer engineer, seeing him believe them was really good. The story's progressing. Then T-1000, then the police come up. Him tearing down the action scene, tearing off the machine gun, smoking all of them. I mean, yeah, him smoking all of them. That was just crazy. Like, every single part of this film was amazing. Seeing the bond grow over time between John Connor and the T-800, seeing him as a father figure, you can see that unfolding on screen. And you know for yourself, like, yeah, that's a robot, bro. Something's gonna happen, man. I hope you're not too hurt when he gets blown up or something happens. And the end of the film, the hasta la vista moment, teach him hasta la vista, and then for it to end with the thumbs up in the lava melting pot. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, one of the best sci-fi films of all time. Absolutely amazing.